because he put up that expansion at 9 o'clock and at 11 o'clock and has been able to hold and defend them, that's what's kept him in this game so far. But Xavier knows he needs to put on another expansion because pretty soon, and Xavier looks like he's going to go for a massive drop here. I'm not sure if Sangho is aware of this. Xavier going for a drop, and this might not be a great idea by Xavier because the economy is the key question here, and Xavier setting up an expansion at the 12 o'clock position as well, and Sangho is going to see that drop coming with that pylon, but his units are far and far away. Sangho with a large group of Dark Templar. I think the Dark Templar are being produced as a counter to those Ultralists. I think Sangho is putting the Dark Templar rather than going for Reavers, and now he's got to see that drop. His units have got to retreat. I think Xavier's going to try and cut off Sangho's production, and Sangho looks like, and Xavier has dropped all over Sangho's units. Xavier's got so many units, Sangho going for those overlords, and Xavier in trouble now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend. If he loses that expansion, that's going to be trouble for him. Sangho deciding to ignore his own defense and go for Xavier. Critically, Xavier is going to hurt Sangho's production capabilities. Sangho's lost a lot of gateways there. Xavier's killing off all of his tech buildings, and it's just going to be this battle, and Xavier's got reinforcements arriving just in time. He's got about 6 or 7 and he's also... God, in my excitement, I pulled my mic out there, guys. I pulled my mic out in my excitement. But Xavier's got about 6 or 7 Ultralists there, and it looks like Xavier's just held his defense with those Ultralists against Sangho's advancing forces. And I think that was a critical mistake. Sangho not retreating to defend his tech buildings and defend his production buildings. And Xavier has just leveled Sangho's main. Xavier has taken out all of Sangho's main, despite those crosshairs. Xavier having no anti-air, despite those crosshairs making mincemeat of most of the overlords used in that drop. He's lost his production capability, and despite the fact that he's got a strong economy, you surely got to feel that Xavier has turned this match around with that one brilliant maneuver, and Xavier pulling out all the stops. Xavier coming out with the maneuver necessary to change the focus of this game, and I really felt up to that point Sangho was a little bit ahead. Again, I think crucially no reverse for Sangho. I think that was crucial in the final equation of the game. Now Sangho's going to have to wait for more gateways to pop up, and that's going to give Xavier crucial time. It's going to buy Xavier time to set up more expansions, and Xavier now going for that expansion. Sangho has rebuilt that expansion at the 6 o'clock base, but he's got no units to defend. He's lost all his army, committing himself to that heavily fortified, and I said one of the things that these expansions for the Zerg player will be difficult to defend, and I think that 9 o'clock expansion, the 3 o'clock expansion in future games are going to prove crucial, because you can see that that expansion guards the ramp into the other expansions, and that expansion is easy to defend because you can circumnavigate around the opponent's forces and you can flank them, and that's what Xavier has done time and time again. Every single time Sangho has been knocking on the door of that 9 o'clock expansion, Xavier's had his units come in from behind and take out Sangho's Dragoons. Maybe Sangho hasn't had the right mix of units, maybe he needed a couple more Reavers, maybe he needed to keep his observers alive better, I'm not sure what, or maybe he just couldn't cope with Xavier's brilliance, but Xavier has been brilliant in his defense despite being at a disadvantage early on in the game. Meanwhile, Sangho has cleared off the expansion at the 12 o'clock position, so both players in an equal position now, but Xavier certainly with a little bit of a lead. Sangho now finally got about 4 gateways up, and Xavier now is going to be able to set up another extra expansion, I feel. Xavier's got a large force built up, though Sangho doesn't have a large army, on the ground. That's the first time in the game that Xavier has got a superior army on the ground compared to Sangho, and Xavier really going for it all. And it was brilliant by Xavier because he killed off Sangho's reinforcement production capability, and Xavier taking out a couple of, we're looking at Xavier's first person mover, was able to taking out a couple of those Corsairs. Xavier took out Sangho's ability to produce reinforcements while his own reinforcements arrived just in the nick of time, and Sangho looks like he might be in a little bit of trouble here in terms of those minerals. Xavier now, that 6 o'clock expansion is going to be crucial for Xavier, and he certainly showed that he's able to defend, because Sangho has lost that expansion 6 o'clock. The only expansion for him that is now producing minerals is the expansion at the 5 o'clock position, and that is also starting to run low a little bit, so Xavier, you can just see the balance tilting further and further in his favor. Sangho's going to have, I believe, one last chance to build up a force and turn the tide of this game and get himself another expansion, or it's going to be curtains for him. And Sangho, his force, it looks like he's going to get pincered by Xavier. Xavier's circling around, he's trapped out Sangho's unit. Xavier's got a massive force there. Swarm goes off, those Archons are getting under attack from those Ultralists, and Sangho moves back, play goes off on the Dragoons. Sangho just doesn't have enough. Xavier's polishing him off, Xavier's finishing him off there. Xavier having enough skills to put Sangho's army to the sword. Xavier putting Sangho to the sword here and showing why he is the master, and certainly if he's not back to his best, he's certainly very close to it. Brilliant performance by Xavier, and he's going to win this game, and he is going to go through to the next round of the MSL. He is going to go through to the round of 16, and I think his opponents will have someone to fear, and I think watching this display, other Protoss players must be shaking in their boots, because Sangho didn't do a lot wrong. I still think that Reavers are critical in a game like this. We saw how critical they were for Nalra. Of course, the problem with Reavers is you've got to defend them, and Xavier with his impeccable Scourge Micro, it might very well be difficult to defend them in those shuttles. And Xavier now taking firm control of this game. He's in no hurry to finish this off. He's just going to starve Sangho of resources while he builds up his own forces and builds up a strong defense at that 6 o'clock base. He's also taking the 12 o'clock base now. So brilliant display by Xavier. I'm highly impressed by him. Sangho obviously continues to survive. He's going to be difficult to finish off, but ultimately he's being starved of resources, and Sangho needs to take that expansion at 12 o'clock. The 6 o'clock expansion is gone. There's nothing he can do about it, but he just needs to find some way of taking that expansion at 12 o'clock and setting up some defense there. Thus far, he hasn't been able to do it. So it'll be interesting what he does. And you can see his probes sitting idle there, large group of probes sitting idle at the 3 o'clock expansion. He's built up a large group of Corsairs. I'm not sure what good that'll do to him. Obviously, Xavier's got no anti-air at all. He's only got a few Scourges, and I think he feels that if he can take out the Overlords, he's got those Dark Templar and they can do damage. But for now, Xavier, and now here it comes, and this is going to be critical here. Sangho coming in with, and those Dark Templar are just making mincemeat of those Ultralists. Xavier is able to take those Dark Templar out. He's got something there that's seeing those Dark Templar. I don't see an Overlord for Xavier anywhere nearby, and I guess he's not seeing those Dark Templar, but he's killed off the rest of Sangho's force, and Sangho just doesn't have enough Dark Templar, and Xavier's gone in with the Ultralists and got it, and I think Xavier's got his Overlords. I'm not sure where Xavier's Overlords are hidden, but he's certainly not accompanying his troops with him. Sangho, I guess, just doesn't have enough Dark Templar to kill those Ultralists fast enough. He is trying to take them down, but Xavier now taking out that other expansion, and Xavier now running with his Overlords, and Xavier's going to lose all of his Overlords here, and this might give Sangho a chance, because Xavier with no Overlords is going to have a tough time defending. I suppose all he needs to have Sunkens and a couple of Spore colonies in behind those Sunkens to defend himself, and that's all he really needs. But those Corsairs making mincemeat of Xavier's Overlords, and this is going to make it very difficult for Xavier to produce reinforcements. Xavier produced a couple of Scourges to try and counter those Corsairs, and Sangho really trying to fight back in this game. I still feel excuse me, I still feel that Xavier's got too much. I don't think those Dark Templar are going to be enough. Those Dark Templar are heading down. Xavier's got an Overlord surviving there. Sangho critically not killing that Overlord up, and now he's going to have a Spore colony up as well. But remember, if Sangho can get enough resources to research Disruption Web, that might be enough to counter that building defense that Xavier's essentially got. And Xavier's expansion now at 5 o'clock, at the 5 o'clock position is going to be vulnerable. He is putting up defenses everywhere. He's putting up Spore colonies critically, spreading them out as well to counter for that Disruption Web. So and critically, of course, Sangho running out of resources. But that 5 o'clock expansion does seem vulnerable if Sangho can get a couple of Dark Templar in there. Xavier now has enough in terms of defense, and Sangho going in for that Overlord at that expansion at the 12 o'clock position. Unfortunately, unable to take it down. 2 Spore colonies, ushering those Corsairs away, scaring them away, and Sangho backs off with those Corsairs. Xavier's still got a large army on the ground. Sangho doesn't have a lot, and really you feel Xavier's got enough of a lead at this point that Sangho can't come back despite some innovative play, despite trying his best, and that lone Ultra is just going to get killed off by Zealots. And I don't see too many Dark Templars, unfortunately, for Sangho. He's got no Dark Templars in that group at all, and the question is, where is he going to get the extra gas from? Where is he going to get the minerals from? Dark Templar are expensive to produce, and he's got that Dark Templar up. He's managed to sneak that Dark Templar up into that expansion at the 5 o'clock position. It's not going to bother Xavier, because Xavier's got 2 well-defended expansions at 12 o'clock as well as at 6 o'clock. Xavier is sending those Hardlists up now. I think he's waiting for the Overlords to pop, and just as those Overlords pop, those Hardlists are going to come, and Xavier sent a couple of Artilists to defend as well. Sangho, I'm sure, is going to send his Corsairs in to try and kill out their Overlords, so Xavier's going to retake that base. He sent the drones back up, so he's going to put a hatchery back down. I don't think his economy is going to be too hurt at this point in time, and Xavier now has produced the Hardlist, and that's going to be really, you feel, the end of the Corsair dominance. Sangho maneuvering those Corsairs brilliantly around the map, and I'm afraid all he's doing is delaying the inevitable. I don't really think it's going to have make a telling difference in this game. He slowed Xavier down a lot, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, because Xavier can just simply switch to Hydrolist, and he's got a lot of Hydrolist there now, and those Corsairs sacrificing themselves to try and take that Overlord out. Xavier not able to kill any Hydrolist on that occasion, not able to kill any Corsairs on that occasion. Sangho once again with his massive ground force, and they're just going toe to toe here. Xavier's going to be, I think, content just taking out all of the Zealots, leaving the few Dark Templar that Sangho has alive, and I think Sangho has, I'm just trying to count here, Sangho has about 3 Dark Templar, and that's really 4 Dark Templar. That's not really enough. Xavier with a massive group of Surges manages to take out about 3 or 4 of the Corsairs. Xavier looking a little bit dejected there. Feels a little bit that maybe the game is going away from him. I don't think it is. I think he's quite comfortable, and he is comfortable. I think he's just annoyed that he hasn't been able to finish the game off, and I think he just wants Sangho to leave. I think he just wants Sangho to quit and give up and just accept defeat gracefully. And you've got to feel it's only a matter of time. Sangho out of resources, out of minerals, unable to get an expansion down, still killing all of Xavier's Overlords, and Xavier's Overlords now concentrating mainly at those 6 and 12 o'clock expansions. Really, that's all and Xavier needs. Sangho now with his last-ditch attack. Really, the problem for Sangho is he's unable to produce more troops. He can't get another expansion down. Xavier brings a lot of Overlords out. He's going to try and corner those Dark Templar and take them out before the Overlords die. The Overlords die. Xavier manages to kill another of the Dark Templar, and really Xavier can afford to throw units away here because of his dominant position in the game right now. That 5 o'clock expansion, still nothing at it. Xavier maybe doesn't realize that hatchery got taken down, because he certainly made no effort to rebuild it or to build any Spore colonies. I think he's happy enough with the 6 and 12 o'clock expansions, because those are the only expansions with the minerals left out. Really an epic game between these two players. Sangho giving a good account of themselves, and I'll be hopeful that he can come through in the losers matchup into the next round, because he certainly does credit to the Protoss race. And I think obviously Bisu's going to need some backup in the next round. I'm sure Bisu made it through after his loss to UV. So interesting position in the game here. The game just stalled for a little bit. Xavier just trying to finish Sangho off, who has proved resilient. And Sangho once again committing himself to the expansion 12 o'clock. He knows he needs to try and take some sort of expansion. And if he can get him down and take those spore colonies out, that'll and the issue of detection for Xavier. And Xavier with the and Sangho GG's. Sangho GG's, guys. Great game. This is Klaz. Great game. Thanks for watching. Xavier through the next round, looking back to his best. Couple of hiccups along the way, but emphatic nonetheless. This is Klaz. Thanks for listening, guys.